Good morning, good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. We will get started with our opening prayer by invoking the blessings of God and Guru, like we always do. So let me pull up my screen and we will get started. Okay, all right. Let's get started then. Again, a very warm welcome to all of you. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right, Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening to all of you. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom. So let's get started. Yesterday we were talking about gunas, three gunas, Triguni Maya. And see, from a spirituality standpoint, it's not only important to understand what we should do, but also important to have an awareness of things that we should not do or not should fall trap to. So we spoke about three gunas. Today we will talk about the third guna, the tamas, a little more in detail. And for that, we are going to do a fast track. From second chapter, I'm going to jump directly into the 18th last chapter, okay, which talks about the tamas part of it. And we are going to talk about an aspect of our personality. Everybody has it to some extent. Some have it to a larger extent, some have it to a smaller extent, but that is something which could be one of the biggest impediments or roadblocks for us on the path of spirituality. So without much ado, let's get started and then we will get deeper into the topic. So like I said, I've picked up something from 18th chapter today. We'll discuss this and then have a bit of a discussion on it as well. Ayukta prakrita stabdha Shatho neshkritiko lasaha Vishadi dirghasutri cha Karta tamas uchyate. Okay, let's take a few hands and get going.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Sudama ji.
Ayukta Prakrita-stabdaha Shadho Naishkrutiko Alasaha Vishadi Dirghasutri cha Karta Tamasa Uchyate. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, very nice. Good morning, good evening to everyone. Those of you who are still joining or just joined. Yes.
Radhe Radhe Uddhavji.
Radhe Radhe. Ayuktah prakritah stabdhah Satho naiskritiko lashaha Visadi dirghashutri cha Karta tamas uchyate.
All right, so those of you who are wondering how did we jump to 18th chapter, it is in continuation of the shloka we did yesterday because we are talking about the three gunas. And today we are going to focus on the tamas gun. It's important to understand tamas gun, and we will again go back to chapter 2 just to have a mental map. Again, we'll go back to 4th chapter after we have done a recap of chapter 2 and chapter 3. So that's how it is. All right, let's take a few more hands and then we'll continue.
Radhe Radhe Akshita ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Ashutosh.
Radhe Radhe. Ayuktah prakrutah staddah shato naikruti ko alasah vishadi dirgha sutri cha karta tamasa uchyate.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Radhe Radhe Somesh ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Somesh.
everyone. Ayukta prakrita stabdha sato nesmiti kolasaha visadi dirgha tatamasa uchyate.
Very nice, Somesh. Radhe Radhe. Okay, we can take the remaining hands as well.
Radhe Radhe Sandhya ji, please go ahead.
राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe.
अयुक्तः प्राकृतः स्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिकोलसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते.
Very nice, Sandhya. Okay, we have 4 more hands. We can pick them up real quick. Fine.
Radhe Radhe Sanji.
Radhe Radhe.
Ayukta prakrita stabdha shato nishkriti kolishaha vishadi durga sutri cha karta tamas uchyate. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Okay, let's take the remaining 4 hands.
Radhe Radhe Rupa ji.
Radhe Radhe Rupa ji.
Radhe everyone. Ayuktah prakrutah sabdashato naishkruti
Okay.
kolasaha
Yeah, it's,
vishadi dirghas. Yeah.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I was telling that Ayukta, Prakrita, Stabdha will be in 1 meter. Then you will get it right. So,
Yeah. Okay. Vishadi dirghasutri cha karta tamasa uchyate.
very nice, Rupaji. Radhe Radhe. Okay, 3 more hands and then we get started.
Radhe Radhe Pragi ji.
राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe, Pragi ji.
अयुक्ता प्राकृत स्तब्धा शतो नैष्कृतिकोलसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते.
Wonderful. Very nice, Pragi ji. Okay, last 2 hands.
Radhe Radhe Uday ji.
राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe.
अयुक्तः प्राकृतः स्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिको लसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते. राधे राधे.
Wonderful. Radhe Radhe. All right, last but not the least, Sri Ramya.
राधे राधे
Perform.
प्राकृतास्तो नैष्कृतिकोलासः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते.
Very nice, Sri Ramya. All right, so let's get started. Lord Krishna is saying, telling Arjun, a performer in the mode of ignorance is one who is, okay, some compliments are used here, so let's go through that one by one. Undisciplined, vulgar, stubborn, deceitful, slothful, despondent, and a procrastinator. Okay, so let's get started with it now. So yesterday we spoke about these, all the elegant looking people, equally elegant, and it seems like equally powerful as well. We spoke about these 3 gunas, the power that they exert over us to the varying degrees throughout the day, and how with the power of our intellect, knowledge, and our witness consciousness we can tame them. Otherwise, these wrestlers keep on wrestling throughout the day, and whichever wrestler is dominant, that guna overtakes us. And we do have the ability through our free will to override our gunas. That was the key takeaway. Okay. Now let's move on. So the wrestler, which is the most elegant one, is the one we are going to discuss today. Topic for today, we will talk about that one thing which is considered as one of the biggest roadblock, and we'll see why. You'll be able to intuitively understand that. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so let's start with the Bhagavatam verse. Srimad Bhagavatam states, okay, it's 11.25.26. I'm not going to attempt to say that. However, Lord Krishna comes, and this is what is being said in Bhagavatam. God is saying that one who is devoid of discrimination is tamasic. Devoid of discrimination. What is discrimination? Discrimination is not what happens in South Africa, right? Racial discrimination. It is understanding what is good and what is bad. Okay, what is the right thing to do and what is not the right thing to do. That is the discrimination that is being spoken about in this particular verse of Bhagavatam. And one who lacks that discrimination is called a tamasic person. Now, if you operate in life, if you simply think about this definition, anybody who's operating in life without having this basic query, question, why am I here? What is the purpose of life? What is the right thing to do in a particular situation? Actually, the odds of that person falling in the tamasic zone are very high. Furthermore, he goes on to say that one who is excessively attached to action and its results is a rajasic. This should happen, this should not happen, I need to do this, I want this. Those people are rajasic. This is where majority of the world falls in. Yeah. This is the rajasic category. And then he goes on to say that the worker who's detached is sattvic in nature, is detached, is sattvic in nature. So some people have a natural detachment to a lot of things in this world, and then they sometimes wonder, is it a good thing? I don't feel as panicky as others people do when something in my family happens and stuff like that. So it is not a cause for concern, it is a cause for celebration. Okay, so we have developed that level of detachment for whatever reason, because of our past sanskars or maybe some conscious, deliberate practice or unconscious. It is a good spot to be in. Maharajji says that we need to be hard like a thunderbolt in this world and soft like a butter when it comes to God. Okay. So with the world, we have to be really hard, stone-hearted. That is the state we need to reach, because we understand the big picture. That doesn't mean you lack compassion, you don't care. That means you care, but with perspective, okay, with proper compassion, and not become panicky about every second thing in life. Right? This coming and going is a part of life, so it has to be looked at in perspective. And then further goes, he says, but the worker who is surrendered to me is transcendental to the three modes. Okay, so this is what Lord Krishna is saying. The state, which is something which takes us to closer to God realization, the transcendental state is beyond these three things. Okay, beyond the gunas. So God is also one of the names for God, or attributes associated with God is Nirgun. So when our scriptures talk about God as Nirgun or Nirakar, what it means is God does not have lokik gun, material or worldly gunas. He does not have a worldly form or worldly gunas. They are lokik qualities that they're talking about. A lokik God has in tons. Nobody can count the number of gunas God has. And it is said that the Anantashesh, ever the sense of beginning of eternity, there's no beginning, by the way. He has been singing the glories of God, gunas of God. And till this date, he has not been able to finish it. Okay, so when we say Nirgun, that means beyond these three gunas, Tamas, Rajas and Sattva. God himself has infinite gunas. Nobody can count it. In fact, talking about his gunas, beauty is one of them, right? So the most beautiful person on the Brahmans is Kamadev, Cupid. Okay. If we even come in contact with, let's say, forget about Cupid, somebody from Swarglok, if for some reason they descend down and take a stroll around us, just by the aroma, their aroma that comes from their body, we will faint. So the beauty also has a lot of levels, and the highest peak in this material world is that of Kamadev. So Kamadev, when Maharas was going on, he went on to check Krishna, who is this dude who is known to be more beautiful than me. So he went to check that out. And when he looked at Lord Krishna, I think he looked at one of his parts and he fainted. That much perfection, even he could not digest it. Okay, so you can imagine how many gunas God has. Right? Maharaj has written a beautiful bhajan that is there, right? Mero pyaro pyaro murli varo ja par kaam karoran varo. So ja par kaam karoran varo. I mean, billions of cupids can be sacrificed. That is how beautiful. So God is nirgun, but we have to understand he's transcendental. He's beyond gunas. But when we talk about gunas, they are not material gunas. That's what it essentially says. Okay. God has infinite gunas. So God is saying one who is surrendered to him is the one who's actually truly becoming transcendental. Otherwise, you are still playing in those three gunas only. So now Lord Krishna, let's look at this description of tamasic workers. Now we get into the compliments, all the compliments that he has given. Okay, we need to really understand this concept. The tamasic workers, what he's saying. So what he says is that their mind is blotted with negative obsessions. Okay, this is the first attribute of tamasic workers. Just some kind of a negative obsession, something wrong is going to happen. Okay, something is always negative propensity about it. That is the tamasic category, a symptom of that. Which leads to, and because of that, they become undisciplined. Ayukta. Thus they are ayukta. Because their knowledge is not proper, right? Foundation is not strong, and they're trying to build a building on top of it. So indiscipline is also one of the attributes of that. Ayukta, which is being called out in this shloka. Furthermore, our scriptures give us the injunctions regarding what is proper and improper, right? We spoke about the concept of scriptures tell us vidhi and nishedh. Vidhi is do's and nishedh is don'ts. What is proper, what is improper, right? In general, in life, it becomes subjective based on our opinion, but scriptures tell us what is proper, what is not proper in our karam kand aspect of it and all. So if somebody doesn't have access to that, is ignorance a bliss? It is not. What happens? These people in tamasic pravritti, they are in the mode of ignorance, and that attribute is called stabdha because they are in the mode of ignorance. They are obstinate in their views, for they have closed their ears and mind to reason. That is another attribute. It's like that bull, you see, you cannot reason with them. They have their own opinions, strong opinions in life, very rigid opinions in life, and they are just not open to listen to things. That is another attribute, obstinate. First of all, they are ignorant, right? It's like karele ka achar and neem ki chutney combination we spoke about. First of all, they are ignorant. Secondly, they are rigid, very obstinate. If you speak to them or talk to them or even anything related to spirituality or topic related to spirituality, they'll be like anything but this, because they have it all sorted out in their head already, and they're very obstinate about it. Their entire life they will spend in that with that rigidity, but they will not budge. Okay, so God has said they are tamasic people. What else? Furthermore, says, and they are often shatah, cunning, and neshkrita, dishonest or vile in their ways as well. Okay, that's another attribute of that. Okay. So it's not that they have to have all these attributes to be called a tamasic. Those shades, some might have extreme shades, some may have less shades, but these are the shades or the symptoms or some of the attributes of the people who are in tamasic nature. Okay. Negative obsessions, right? That is the first thing, which is called then ayukta, undisciplined, right? Nothing, no discipline whatsoever in life regarding anything. Stabdha, they're obstinate and ignorant, and shata and naishkritan, which is dishonest, vile, and cunning. So these are some of the attributes Lord Krishna is talking about people who are in the mode of ignorance or tamasic pravritti they have. Right? So let's move on. In the previous slide, we spoke about the transcendental all the way from tamasic to rajasic to sattvic to transcendental. And even previous, we have, just to give a quick recap, these are the wrestlers, 3 wrestlers, right? The tamasic one is, if that is predominant in your life, then your, all that Lord Krishna is talking about will dominate your what you call personality, vyaktitva, like they say it in Hindi, right? It will have shades of that and will be tainted with that. So let's move on. Now, let's look at this. They are prakrita, vulgar also is saying, because they do not believe in controlling their animal instinct. Now, I found this picture pretty interesting. I don't know if anybody can try doing all of it at the same time, but it kind of gives us a gist of, what it means when we simply cater to our animalistic instincts. Okay, this is something extreme, but let's understand a little deeply this concept. There's a scriptural verse around ahar, bhay, nidra, and maithun. Okay, these 4 activities: ahar, eating; bhay, defending; nidra, sleeping; and maithun is procreation. These 4 activities are done by animals also. Okay, so as humans, if we are simply doing it in a deluxe way, that doesn't make us any better than animals, if that's all we do in our lives. Okay. So when Swami Vivekananda was coming to US, I think he's coming in ship, so there was a guy, student who was traveling. So they were having a discussion, and then he thought, let's have a discussion, give him some gyan chakshu around what he's saying, because he was talking a lot about what he wants to do and this and that. So Swami Vivekananda asked him, why are you going to US? He said, to do my BTech. He said, okay, so if you're going to do your BTech, what's going to happen? He said, then after that I will do ICS. In those days, Britishers, there used to be an exam like ICS, like we have IAS today. Very few people would crack that. He said, I'm going to give ICS and crack that. He said, then after that, what will happen? Then he said, I'll get a beautiful match. I'll marry a beautiful girl. He said, then what after that? Then he said, I will do social and economic development. I'll get resources. I'll earn money and buy a house and get a car and all that stuff. He said, then after that, he said, I'm going to have kids. He said, then after that, he said, then they will grow up. I'll marry them off. Then after that, said then I will be, I would have aged, and then I'll have my provident fund, to take care of me in my wee years, and then I will retire. And then he said, then after that, what? I'll die. So he said, whatever you have done, these are actually ahar, nidra, bhay, and maithun, these 4 categories. If that is all you do as a human, then how are you different than an animal? So the sukh that we get by eating kachoris and chole bhaturas or rasgulla and gulab jamuns, a cow gets the same sukh by eating grass. Much better actually, because she doesn't have to worry about cholesterol and other things that come along with it. Okay. And the sukh or the quantum of happiness that we get sleeping on mattresses, a dog gets the same when they lie down on a bare floor. There's absolutely no difference. But as humans, it is expected that you go beyond that. Otherwise, this case is vulgar. They are not controlling their animalistic instincts. But if we lead our life around these things only, kind of we are on that border line only, right? We may lead a good life if we do our duties properly and stuff like that, better off than animals. But I gave that example just to say that when as humans, to whom much is given, much is expected as well. God has given us human life, ability to discriminate, ability to question, exercise our intellect, all those things, then much is expected as well. But this is an extreme case because it's talking about tamasic, where they can't control their animalistic instincts about bhog. Okay, it could be in form of food, it could be in form of any other sensual indulgence. Okay, that is the idea. Furthermore, he goes on to say that they may have duties to perform, but they see effort as laborious and painful. I mean, I found this picture interesting as well. So they are alasa, slothful, and dirgha sutri, procrastinating. Okay, that is another attribute associated to people who are in tamasic mode. And they're ignoble, and base thoughts impact them more than anyone. They make them vishadi. They always have some problem. They are usually sad. Okay, they'll find reasons because they think life has given them a raw deal, and they may be playing a victim card most of the times. Okay, that is another symptom we need to guard against. So it said, right, some people have a problem for every solution. So we cannot fall into that mindset. It can happen. It is a mindset thing. Somebody asked, what does your husband do? And he said he's in a manufacturing business. He said, what does he manufacture? She said he manufactures worries. Okay, so we cannot get into that business either. Manufacturing worries or having a problem for every solution in life and having a negative mindset or thinking something will go wrong with me or it has always gone wrong with me. The world is out to catch me. Playing a victim card. These are all tendencies of a tamasic nature that we need to guard against. How will we guard against that? By filling ourselves with positivity, by counting our blessings, by having an attitude of gratitude. Okay, that is the only solution to ward against this mindset. Anybody can fall to it. Repeated contemplation of these kind of thoughts can lead to this kind of a mindset that we really need to guard against. Okay, let's move on. So now, what is the biggest impediment to the highest goal? We all have, the potential to reach. What is the biggest impediment? Anybody? Yes, Sudhamaji, I think.
Oh, actually, I raised hand for a question, but
Okay, go ahead.
I'll try to answer this. Okay, I'll ask you the question. You are saying we have to develop the attitude of gratitude and count upon our graces. That is for tamasic in general, or any one specific quality of
anyone. If you
Okay.
have that kind of an attitude, it will fill you with positivity and take you to transcendental state actually. So regardless of any category, these are good qualities, good mindsets to have. We forget all the blessings that we have, and that is why negativity creeps in.
Okay.
And when Arthur Ashe was asked, Arthur Ashe was a guy, he was a Black American who went on to win Wimbledon. I think he was the first Black American. And then he was diagnosed with AIDS. And somebody interviewed him and asked him, don't you think, it's something tragic that has happened to you? Life has dealt you a raw deal. And he gave the statistics, out of so many millions of Americans, African Americans, how many are privileged enough to play tennis? And out of those, how many are privileged enough to play it at a competitive level? And out of those, how many of them are able to represent US and Wimbledon? And out of that, how many have won Wimbledon? I can't say that, he said. That was his attitude, even after knowing that he's terminally ill. Okay. So people say, right, this has happened, that has happened. And you say, Swamiji gives a beautiful story. You'd say that, okay, I'll give you a billion rupees, 100 crores, give me your eyes, both of your eyes. You will say, of course not. How can I give you? That means you already have something more than 100 crores. And say, okay, I'll give you another 100, give me both of your arms. Are you kidding me? That means you already have more precious than that. So we forget all that. We start taking most of the things for granted, and then one black spot in your life, you start focusing on that and forgetting about the entire whiteboard around it. And that can lead to tamasic pravartis.
Okay.
Having an able body itself is a big deal.
What is it?
Having an able body and rising up every day, right? Having the faculties which are working, that itself is a huge deal. We can make so much out of our life just by having this ability. How many people have that? Helen Keller, she could not even hear, and she said life is beautiful. So it's again the mindset thing that plays tricks with us. Yeah, you had another question?
No. This one, biggest impediment to the highest goal is ego.
Is what? Ego? Okay.
Ego.
Let me get to that. Yeah, Sandhya, you wanted to say? I think you guys are all experts now. So Go ahead.
I thought it is mind, like it can be our friend, it can be our foe. If we think we can achieve something, we are right. If we think we can't,
Yes.
then also we are right. So
Yes, that's right. So let me move on. Yes, Ajit ji, you wanted to add something?
Radhe,
Radhe.
actually biggest impediment to my opinion is the setting up of the goal. If you have set their goal is highest one, then you will get motivated. If it is a lower one, you will not get inspired even. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe. Beautiful point. So let me move on. We'll come back. We have a little bit of a content to cover and a bit of discussion as well. So yes, you're right. Swamiji explains it beautifully. That is an easier part to a lower goal. Okay, we settle for smaller, easier things. That is the biggest impediment we have. We all like goals. We all like to achieve things, but we say mind like, well, okay, this is something, and then you have an easy path to an easier goal. That becomes a bigger impediment for us. Okay, and that actually becomes an impediment for us on the path of spirituality as well. In fact, the biggest impediment on the path of spirituality, I'll tell you which one is it. It's one of the compliments that God has given, not compliments in the other way, I should say. So the biggest impediment actually, okay, is actually, let's talk about is the inertia that we have in our life. Okay. This inertia it's neither good for us in our material progress nor for our spiritual progress. And in order for us to overcome this, we need to elevate and purify our mind and intellect to make it our friend, like you pointed out, Sandhya. And Kabirji also had said that this inertia or the habit of procrastination is a big impediment. He said, "Kaal kare so aaj kare so ab, pal mein parle hoegi, bahuri karega ka." And in today's age, people have made it as like, "Aaj kare so kal kare so parson." Itni bhi kya jaldi, zindagi hai barson. But we should never procrastinate it. We should just do it as soon as we can do. Shubhasya shighram. Right? When Vashisht came to Dasharath and Dasharath said, I am thinking of making Ram as the king. And Vashisht said, wonderful. And he said, but, Guruji, can you tell me a good muhurat for that? He said, time is always right to do the right thing. He said, Shubhasya shighram. He said, all right, then I'll do it in the morning itself. He said, okay. And within that night, you know what happened, right? The whole game changed. He just postponed it by a night. Anyway, so tomorrow's work, do today. I've just translated it, okay, for the benefit of participants who could not have understood this. And it is a very loose translation, okay, word to word I've done. Tomorrow's work, do today, today's work now. If the moment is lost, work to be done how? Anyways, so just do not procrastinate it. That is the biggest impediment. Now I'll tell you, let's talk about procrastination a little bit. Why it is the biggest impediment? It is the biggest impediment because we think we have time. Okay, one is the tushtis that we do. Okay, this would address some of the things that our mind plays tricks with us, or incorrect knowledge, erroneous knowledge that we carry in our mind. You would have heard, India, I keep on hearing that they do kal tushti. Are, jab time aayega, it will happen. When the time will come, it will happen automatically. Okay, it is called kal tushti. You need to watch out for that. Time will not come. You have to make that time. Okay, that is called kal tushti. Second one is they do. If it is written in my fate or my destiny, it will happen. It is called bhagya tushti. That is also not correct. If it is written if you don't leave it to the fate, you make it happen. Kriyaman is in your hand. And the third most interesting one, there are four actually, we'll focus only on three, is called Agar Bhagwan chahega to ho jayega. If God so desires, it will happen. Okay. This is called Ishwar Tushti. Why would you leave it to God? God desiring, God will desire, and then He would desire it for everybody. He wants us to, become purified and come to Him. So it's not God's desire. You have to make that desire, right? In India, they say, Mata Rani ka bulawa aayega. You have to make it happen. It's not that you keep on waiting for God to give you some kind of a signal or that dream or something, some supernatural thing you're waiting for in your life for it to make up your mind. So these three tushtis we have to watch out for. Secondly, let's think logically. We think we have a lot of time. We'll do it later. We'll do it after this thing settles down. Kids settle down. My health settles down. This thing settles down. Because we have time. And let's say instead of 100 years, somebody grants us 500 years. Okay. You are sure shot having 500 years. Now, you still have to make up your mind. Is it a guarantee that you would make up your mind in the 300th year or the 400th year or the 450th year or the 490th year? You still have to break that habit. And let's say you still could not, you kept on postponing it and you moved on. Then what happens? What did you move along with? You moved along with your subtle body. Subtle body carries what? Your chitta, your sanskars. And if procrastination was your habit, you carried forward. So how would it reset anything? You repeat again and again. Your mind will start giving you excuses. It's too early. I'm still a student. And okay, only after I settle down in life. Okay, after marriage and things are settled down, then I'll fully devote my time to devotion and spirituality. Okay, now I need to marry them off. In retirement, I'll do that. In retirement, you will find more agendas and then you just move on, right? This is called tushtis our mind are doing. Time, bhagya, Ishwar. We keep on giving them dosh and do nothing. So procrastination, laziness is the biggest impediment in our spiritual growth. Okay, Maharaji said that it's not your first life where you are meeting a guru. You met it before also. But because of your habit of procrastination, you have still not become a Puri. Okay, so now what I would like you to think is, it is the biggest pitfall on the path of spirituality, as we discussed. I'm going to create a thread on our portal. So I'll create a thread on the portal, based on some of the discussions that requires a little more in-depth, nuanced discussion. Jyoti is going to put summary in that, and then you can put in your comments, discussion. We can make it as a very nice discussion forum and a body of knowledge there as well. So a question I want you to think about over the weekend. You don't have to revise this. Parikshit, right, in Bhagavatam, he was told that you have only 1 week left. And he went to Shukadev and said, I don't have time for general store. Give me the key nugget. Okay, and he asked 5 or 6 questions. Maybe I'll bring it to one of the sessions to Parikshit. Very smart questions. Who is God? Why does he descend? And 4 or 5, 6 questions like that. He said, I have 1 week and I want to complete my journey, for the purpose I'm born. Now, if we come to know about it, we don't come to know about it. So what are the things that you would prioritize? And what are the things you would immediately give up without having to put a second thought? Just think about that. Okay, this is something which we should really be thinking about, because we are postponing it in our head with a false sense of security that we are going to be around for a long, long time. That is where we are making a fault there. Now, if let's say somebody says you have 2 days or 3 days or 1 day left, right? Within a week also we'll keep on postponing. Okay, I still have 6 more days to go. Would you really care if, let's say, somebody tomorrow is going to be your last day, that who's going to win the elections, or what happened in that conflict that is going on with Russia and all that stuff, right? Or is Trump going to come back and fight elections again? Or is Virat Kohli going to get picked up in the team? Or is Deepika breaking up with Ranveer? Or which is the latest flick, So would you really, or which is the next forward? You can send it out to your friends along with some flowers and say good morning. So these are some of the things that we have added in our life, too many such of things, that I don't think we will give it a second thought before dropping it, because our intellect knows now is the exam time. It's just like setting an exam. They say life is a preparation and death is an examination. When your examination is on your head, you'll cut out a lot of noise. And if you can simulate that in your head now, okay, not to get upset about it, but just think about it. What are those 10 things you would immediately cut off? And that will give you a perspective on how much time you have and how much noise we have added in our life for the sake of it. So you can do this activity. I'm going to create a thread on our portal. If you have not registered, please do so. And I would really want you to contribute to that portal and contribute towards it, because it can become an excellent resource group for the things that we discussed in our sessions. So think about it. I wanted to cover one more thing today, and then we can get to the questions part of it as well. This is one of my favorite shlokas. 18.68. So Lord Krishna is saying in this shloka that ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshvabhidhasyati bhaktim mai param kritva mameveshyat yatya sanchaya. He's saying, amongst my devotees, those who teach this most confidential knowledge perform the greatest act of love. They will come to me without doubt. Now he's saying asanchaya, and he's saying without doubt. So in our small capacity, we do have an opportunity to become, you see, who are these guys? They are employees. They look like employees. And employees of Krishna. And in our small capacity, we all can become by doing a little bit of seva, extracting nuggets and stuff like that. And that is what I would let, I think somebody's going to talk about it. Let's talk about, first of all, Maharajji's seva that we are looking at, because his 100th centenary is coming up. Let's talk about that. And then other way, how you can help. It could be a very small seva, posting in portal, to creating content, to spreading the word around. It could be anything. So let's talk about the centenary celebrations. I want to give it to Rahul to explain that. Let's form some, talk about it, and then we will facilitate, forming the teams and all that stuff. So I'm going to stop share for a bit.
Thank you, Nitinji. Radhe Radhe, everyone.
Radhe Radhe.
I just posted some of the information in the chat, but with regards to the Maharajji's centenary year celebrations, we will be celebrating at RKT Dallas from October 6th to 9th, and online participation will be there on October 9th, 6 p.m. CST onwards. And for that, you have the option to express your devotion. We will have some interactive quiz and trivia, and you can learn more about Maharajji's life and his teachings. So that is there. And then one thing we have to remember is we have to submit our entries on the link which is shared on the chat by October 4th. And I think there is a requirement of minimum 3 participants for a team. So in case you don't have a team, you can fill out in the feedback tracker and express your interest, and we can probably help you in making a team. So that is about Maharajji's centenary celebrations. Apart from that, Nitinji, do you want me to make other announcement?
Yeah, just give me a sec. I wanted to open up, if you can open that page and show everybody, and you can fill it out in the feedback tracker. Let's put it in the feedback tracker. I would strongly encourage, at least 4 or 5 teams we should be able to make one. I can see Samji, Sudamaji can make a team. You need one more participant with you, by the way, at least one more. So I look forward to your registration. We'll have a couple of other teams as well, and Swati ji, Praki ji, I would strongly encourage all the people who sing bhajan, Pallavi ji, you can join us as well. We should have at least 3 or 4 entries. I think it's a golden opportunity. Let's do that. It is also a seva in a way to express our gratitude, because these sessions that we are conducting, if we trace it back, it's only because of Maharajji. Right? He has facilitated this knowledge to us so easily, and because of him, this platform is available to all of us, where we interact and we are making a difference in each other's life. So it's just a token of appreciation and gratitude, I would say. So strongly encourage you to come forward, enroll for it, put it in the feedback tracker. We can help you make teams, because we need participation of at least 3. And that link is there where you can submit it. And I look forward to seeing you, because we are going to not only have those presentations, but trivia, quiz as well. I'll be conducting that. That's at least what I know, at least till now. So it's going to be an interesting, engaging quiz where I would look forward to meeting you again on October 9th, I believe. But check it out, check out the link and submit your registrations, and fill in the feedback tracker as well in case you need help in forming a team. Okay, we'll facilitate that process for you.
I just opened the form also, the link, and you can see the form is pretty straightforward, and you can check it out at your own convenience.
Yeah. So any questions before we can get into that, Rahul? I wanted to take, because we spent a good amount of time in today's topic of discussion. We can take any questions that anybody may have, and then we can talk about the seva part of it as well. How how you can associate with the wonderful group that we have, with the community that we are building as part of these daily sessions, and contribute in your little ways for the different sevas that we need help on as well. So yes, Shriyamya.
Radhe Radhe Ramya ji.
Radhe Radhe. I was just thinking that if you see one or two qualities of the tamasic gun and not others, then we are in dilution of tamasic gun, like what we discussed yesterday, the gradation, and that it is still there.
Sorry, yeah, in tamasic gun what?
You discussed 8 qualities today, right, in the shloka. Procrastinating, undisciplined. Apart, yeah, those two I predominantly see it myself, but not, at least not others. I don't see there were others also being vulgar and all of those. So
I know
like,
those are there. I picked the one which basically is one of the biggest impediments that even after, let's say, you have reached a state of sattva also or rajas also, right? Still the procrastination persists with us. You might have overcome the other aspect of it, but procrastination is something that is the biggest impediment, because it will stay with you. Even if you are a satsangi, it will still stay with you. You will keep on postponing it, right? Actually, I mean, if you think deeply about it, God will come, right? Socrates, I think somebody asked, what kind of desperation or what kind of intensity is needed for someone to see God or meet God. So I think there was a saint who took this guy and put his head in water. Okay, until after a few minutes, his hand started shaking, his body started shaking, and he kept him in water. And then he was like, his life years are going to vanish. He immediately took him out. He said, how did it feel? He said, you know what? If you had delayed it even for a fraction of a second, I would have died. He said, that is the level of longing you need for God. That if I don't see him for the next fraction of a second, my life years will go away. So that level of intensity is needed. So we are not able to get that intensity because somewhere mind says, okay, we have time, or what we are doing is enough. Or we have other agendas in life to fulfill as well, and some other fun to extract from this world before I can really dedicate myself to it. So those kind of things, mind does play tricks with us because it is conditioned across multiple lifetimes. So I focused only on procrastination, but you're right, there are 6 or 7 other things as well. But in one topic, if I start doing everything, then we lose the focus. So I picked up the key one, which is relevant even for other gunas, regardless of which guna is predominant in you.
okay, thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, if not, there's pin drop silence. So over to you, Rahul. First of all, I want to thank participants who have volunteered to help out with some of the sevas that we are talking about, because we're trying to build a team here for expanding our sessions. This knowledge is so precious, and the 3 words that Maharaj Ji gave to Swamiji was "Aur prachar karo," and we have a golden opportunity to spread this word around in the creative ways that we can do because of the social media and its viral potency that it has. And we have a very creative, wonderful team here who need a lot of support. They have all the ideas, they can guide you, work with you, but we need people to come forward and raise up their hand and say, yes, we can help you out. And I'll let Rahul talk a little bit more about the Canva part of it today. He's created a demo, and before that, I think Ajit Ji has a question, so we can take that, and then I'll give it to you, Rahul.
Radhe Radhe Ajit Ji.
Radhe Radhe. Actually, I don't have a question, but some statements that in materialistic world, it is told that you devote your 3-4 time for the planning in Japanese management sort of thing. But whereas in a spiritual world, it is not valid. And secondly, that you just start with the highest speed. Nowadays, you see the vehicles are coming, which pick up the 100 kilometer per hour speed in few seconds. in the materialistic world. But whereas in the spiritual world, if suppose you want to attain the same thing, we may have to go for the all sort of things, seva, satsang, sadhana, all simultaneously, so that you can achieve 100 kilometer per hour speed in few seconds.
True. That's a very
This is
valid
the
point.
analogy. This is the analogy I just derived from the materialistic world and the spiritual world. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice. Great input, Satyajit. Based on my experience, I will tell you some of the principles of the material world. They just don't apply on the spiritual side of things, especially in the world of seva. My logical mind, our thinking brain, would take you to a different kind of analysis, which would not let you do things unless you are intellectually convinced. Okay? It'll do the SWOT analysis, it'll do the pros and cons, it'll look at the succession plan, what if scenario. All that is fine in your work life. But when it comes to seva world, those principles don't apply. I'll tell you about this particular seva that I picked up of Bhagavad Gita session. If I were to think about, pros, cons, how can I do it, manage or not manage, what if I fall sick, what if I have to go on vacation, what if I'm not prepared for a given session because my work has taken away most of my day, what if, right? What if I don't get a team? What if I'm not able to get the content with so many people coming in? Those scenarios would have paralyzed me and these sessions would have never taken off. So you simply jump in the world of seva, and God and Guru take care. They take complete control of you. So the principles that apply in the material world actually don't apply here. And to your point, yes, the speed. Now somebody can crawl, somebody can walk, somebody can run, somebody can jog, somebody can take a elevator, somebody can take a spacecraft. That can vary from each one of us based on how much thirst we have, right? So that can vary. And then, like you rightly pointed out, we have multiple avenues to fast track our growth on that. And if you're really serious about it, we can avail pretty much all the avenues that we want. Beautiful point. Thank you so much. Over to you, Rahul. You wanted to share the Canva part of it. So I'll tee it up. So there's a Canva post basically which go on Instagram. Bit of a creativity is there, and Rahul has created that. He's going to lead our Canva initiative for the Bhagavad Gita sessions and even otherwise. For RKT as well, we create content, and Bhagavad Gita also we will do so that we can extend the outreach of these sessions and the beautiful knowledge that Swamiji Maharaj Ji has given us. So I'll let him talk about it for participants who are interested, who can join us and help create content at their own pace, because it will be very, very helpful. So I'll give it to Rahul now. I think we have a hard stop at 10, but 5-7 minutes should be good enough, right?
Yeah, Radhe Radhe everyone. Please let me know once you can see the screen.
Yes, we can see that.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Can you hear also? So today we will be seeing.
Yes.
Radhe Radhe everyone. So today we will be seeing some basic steps of creating an Instagram post using Canva platform. So first we will go here and log in into Canva. Once we are logged into Canva, it will show you multiple options and we can choose social media. Inside social media, you will see Instagram post, Facebook post, Instagram story. Let's focus today on Instagram post. Once you log in inside here for the Instagram post, you will see there are a lot of templates which Canva provides us. Apart from the templates, we have elements which can be utilized also in the post. You can use your own audio or the image. You can put in some text based on what you want. So let's focus on the template and use a particular template here. As you can see here, let's delete some of these things to make it a very simple post, and let's center it up. And now let's add Shri Krishna here and change the text. So we can change the text here easily. And let's add our Shyam Sundar here. You can see inside the elements there are a lot of things which can be done, which includes our Shyam Sundar Shri Krishna as well. And let's include his peacock feather also. So now if you are happy with this, Then what else we can do is animate this post. So we can change here how the text populates here like typewriter, and then we can bring in our Shyam Sundar also, and then his peacock feather also in a similar way. So if you are happy with this, I think this is what we have to do. First log in into Canva and then choose a template which is there. Then we can personalize our design of whatever we want to achieve. And once we are happy with this, you have this option of share here, where you can easily download this on your computer or you can post it onto Instagram. So this is a very short introduction of how powerful Canva platform is for making these very simple posts. And then these posts are shared on Instagram from our Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita account. And we have a very active team which regularly posts content including reels and the post of spiritual knowledge or Tattva Gyan. Thank you for watching. Radhe Radhe.
Short and sweet, Rahul. Very nice. So I hope you got a gist of the possibilities and the power of social media. If you haven't joined our Insta page, do check it out. Our team is pretty creative, and some of the content they create, I don't know how they create that, but they're pretty amazing. And it'll be a fun exercise and a good way to keep your mind occupied, because if you have to create a Canva post, let's say related to a Bhagavad Gita shloka, or maybe some of the key learning that you have had, it'll be fun because you'll be thinking about it. And then you simply go in, put it in a template, and you'll get an opportunity to work with a very, very inspired, enthusiastic, and creative team. So if you're interested, please put it in the feedback tracker, and our team will be more than happy to give you a call at 3 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So we have a, like as you say, and all the resources, help, guidance, motivation, everything will be provided to you by them. All they need is your time, and at your leisure you can do that. And they have created nice framework where you can go in and do that stuff, and it'll be an autopilot mode, once you start. And once you start tasting Seva, trust me, you'll say you want to do more of it. So if it interests you and you have an appetite to pick it up, do let me know on the feedback tracker, and our team will be in touch with you for that. So thank you, Rahul, for creating that. And Jyoti is leading our portal initiative. So Jyoti, if you have anything to say, let us know. But I would be creating a thread anyways. And please keep posting your comments and feedback, insights, daily summary, daily nugget, whatever it is, right? It can help create a nice buzz and momentum around it, and can inspire people, right? And in our capacity, like it said in 1868, there is an opportunity for all of us to become this. Not everybody gets that opportunity. So in our small ways, we can always, like those squirrels, we can always help put some stones there. So do check it out. And I look forward to hearing back from you on the feedback tracker. And Maharajji's centenary, like we spoke about it, would really like you to enroll for that. We need to have at least 5-6 teams, we can easily form. So please put it down, and we'll facilitate the process for you to form a team, especially if you have bhajan, skit, or anything in your mind for that. And I look forward to your enthusiastic participation for that as well. Any questions, feel free to reach out on CIC group, feedback tracker, or directly ping me on that. But we really want you to participate on the centenary celebrations that are coming up, and it will be a good token of gratitude for Maharajji, who has enabled this platform for us. If not for him, we wouldn't be sitting here today. So that's the big picture part of it. All right, 60 seconds, and then I'll hand it over to, I think, Ajay or Sunil Bhai. They're here for the next session. But thank you, everybody, for your wonderful participation. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Radhe Radhe. Over to you, Ajay. Radhe Radhe, everyone.
Radhe Radhe, Nitin Bhai. Wonderful session. Okay, let me just stop the recording.